Little flower.
Well, at least I can find something on.
I know.
Thank you, everybody. Welcome along on this beautiful Sorell sunny day. Starting to feel the heat of summer coming into the days. We have apologies from Deputy Mayor. We have apologies from Councillor Campbell, and Meg Brown has now resigned from council, moved out of the area, and so there'll be, I'm sure, a recount, and we'll have a new position in a couple of weeks. 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks, thank you.
Are you going to tell us?
What's that?
Who got it?
No, we don't know yet. That's what we're done.
Still counting.
Yeah, very slow counting.
I can see that, fingers and thumbs. Toes.
That's only given 20. Having viewed tonight's agenda, does anybody wish to declare a community interest? Silence is noted, thank you. Confirmation of the minutes 17th of October 2023. Other movers, please. Mr. Gaddis, Councillor Reid, thank you. Take it as being read as a circulated. Any comments on these minutes? Thank you. I'll push the motion to accept it. All those in favour? Thank you. Mayor's report. Please for this. Reid and Councillor Reynolds. Just one correction there is that I'm sure something else there, I'm making with the childcare. No, make it over there, so that's all right. It's correct as it stands. Oh yes, that's it. Oh yes, up the list of bits. Yes, that's been, yes, Robert and I sat there very patiently for a few minutes on Friday before I realised it's next Friday.
See Robert's report too, I think.
Yeah. Anticipation. Yeah, we're excited about the childcare, but it didn't happen. Any other comments or questions on my report? Sorry, yes.
Thank you. The meeting with Mr. Diamond and Translate staff. Tell us a bit about what that was about or what the outcomes were.
Yeah. Minister Diamond being relatively new to the position, I just thought it was appropriate, seeing we had quite a few issues to do with Crown, including the Darling Marina, and the Lewisham foreshore, and also wanted to just raise the matter of the potential what we're looking at with the land use strategy and how that the foreshore around Mount Gareth. So they were aware we've already had a meeting with Taswater. We were more than likely underwater meeting with Tas Networks and other authorities that need to be involved with new development like that. So trying to get in front of the eight ball with a few discussions. We had a couple of different people there from Crown, just an informal, sensible meeting, just to try and keep things moving.
Thank you. I have a question about, can't see it, with bus information evening. Is there anything interesting?
What was that? I'm sorry.
That is the, I'm sorry.
That's bus information, we don't get live.
Oh yes, business has there. Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was, I was wondering what bus.
Business has,
okay.
not bus.
I thought, yeah.
No, bus, business has are much more exciting than bus. Has bus. Believe me. It's the contract that we used to have with the Jobs Hub that Oliver Strickland used to do, and now Nicky Batchelor does, there's been new contracts let, and we have no longer got the same contract, which is disappointing. One aspect that we've won a bit of a reprieve, but part of the work the hub is doing in relation to the East Coast that we feed into, as well as the ODEC, which is the Break a Day hub, where they feed down to Swansea and we feed up to Swansea, is largely about accommodation on the East Coast for the workers up. It's becoming a fair trudge from Brighton, Sorell, and down from St Helens for workers to travel every day. And then you've got the international workforce as well, some of them are taken care of on farm pretty well in some basic accommodation, but business has becoming more and more conscious of the West Coast and the East Coast. The thought pattern needs to be a little bit different, how they work with that workforce to develop a local workforce, and B, how they house the outside workforce coming into the busy part of the year. So, I think that's. There's nothing else. I'll put my report for acceptance. All those in favour? Thank you. No supplementary items. 7.0 is a list of the topics and discussion points at the workshop. 8.1 is the question on notice, and by Councillor Reid on the visitor accommodation and explanation from our senior planner on all that there. 10.0 is the work group reports. I'll move it, please. Councillor Reynolds, thank you, and Councillor Gatehouse. And invite discussions to our select group of senior managers on the front here. Open the floor for discussions. Councillor Reynolds.
Just a quick question around the Southern BMX meeting and discussions around the future use of the BMX facility. That's with you, Russell.
Yes, it makes sense with me. So, I suppose the club is looking obviously to relocate when the track's finished. They're interested in storage, like everybody's interested in storage at Pembroke Park, whether it be temporary or permanent. We've said we'll try and accommodate something temporarily, but we don't have any funding for anything on a permanent basis for them at this stage. And they're also looking to get sponsorship in terms of what events they can run. So, as I can work out from talking to the track designer, unfortunately, events are usually one, how much money is offered to Bikes Australia to run the event in terms of sponsorship, rather than on the merit of the circuit or otherwise. So it's a very sort of commercial driven type about particularly Australian rounds or even state rounds as well. Yeah. So that's the discussion we had. Okay. Yeah. But they're happy to work with us. They were very, at the moment they do the maintenance of their own track out there, which we will take on. So I think there is some scope to get them to do some work around the track, not related to the track, that will improve the facilities over time, and they're willing to volunteer some labour in that space, but we've got to be careful from a WHS and risk perspective about what we do and what we don't do. But I think they are looking to work, and they are looking to work with the other clubs, which was pleasing to hear in terms of raising money as well.
Is that liability lesson that if some of their members have the ability to be trained in that sort of work? I can remember Rick Birch put together a course at the Trade Training Centre for Duncan for people to do maintenance with all the different modules being accredited.
Potentially, and I think they're interested in landscaping and those sorts of things, which we don't have current funding within the budget at the moment. We've just got enough money to build a track and put a fence around it, despite all that. We just put a grant in for lighting, but they'll just have to run the cooler. That's the grant process.
And still looking at being open to public use as well.
Yeah, no, the bike track will only be closed when the club's either running training or events. All other times it will be open to the community.
And has completion date.
The track build without the tidying up works 21st of December. Because when they're all booked to go back on the boat, basically, that's the only reason. So that, you know, it's all the plane drivers down there at the moment are Tristan's crew from Queensland, not obviously Marcus and the Headlands are cutting material, but all the shaping that's going on there at the moment are coming in last week. And I'll also build the track and seal the track as well. That's excellent.
Starting to get a bit of excitement now, that's good.
Yeah.
Is that from you, Councillor Rowan?
That's why I've got a sore ankle.
See you and the GM doing a few laps around the track.
There you go.
Councillor Reid, then Councillor Gathers.
Thank you. It's come up on a couple of the reports, the Upper Highway MCA, what does MCA stand for? And key points from that workshop.
Well, Rob and I have done one each, haven't we?
So, yeah, we've done a tag team action here. It's a multi-criteria analysis or assessment.
Okay.
Russell's had more involvement than I have, but principally they're working through their consultants, with Jacobs working through a process of looking at a variety of options for the entirety of the highway corridor. And through some stakeholder engagement with southern cousins and some users of the highway as well, just working through that process. I think it's been quite a robust and methodical process. I can't see any fault with that, but in terms of how they're going to sell the prioritisation of the 50 mil worth of work is proving to be challenging to read through the participants in these workshops and their expectations on what order projects will occur and where.
Probably others just drive by factor of 10. And the department itself will have the final, whilst we've all input into it, the department and their internal will have the final say on which projects.
Is the process likely to be like a long-term master plan, or is it more
I
an
asked,
opportunity?
so I asked at the final meeting whether there were going to be trigger points for reviews and extra funding, and they said they hadn't thought about that, so they can take that into account. So I've asked for not only this is the initial function projects, but what would need to change for review to happen or further investment in, because that's going to be the problem. A lot of people just see it as a deposit rather than the solution.
It's a pity to go forward and set it and
Yeah.
just leave it on shelf.
Yeah. But the government's only promised 50 million and haven't said anything beyond that at all at this stage. That's the other budgetary consideration.
Thank you.
Could I ask if the list of priorities is open public scrutiny or?
No, it's not. I'm happy to show you what's on this at the moment.
Councillor Gathers.
Through the Mayor, can I please ask about the North Barker Ecosystem Services and Fire Risk consultants, please, around reserve management and management plans? Were there any surprises or outstanding takeaways, achievable goals out of that?
Oh, that's the first crack, I suppose. I suppose from one of the more contentious ones is obviously the red park at Dodgers. Certainly the fire risk assessment has said that we need less trails from a fire risk perspective than we've currently got in the reserve. So there's an ability to rehabilitate some of those while still providing the fire emergency risk. I don't think North Barker have found anything other than what we were expecting. But it's the way it's been a sort of the method of managing that that's perhaps more important rather than the fact that they exist. So the council is trying to work with Southern Beaches through Jess to come up with some methods of doing that. And I think we'll be able to reach some sort of thing, but it's going to come at a cost compared to the way we used to do it, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's probably a small budget reset that might be required. So there's going to be a lot more hand cutting and a lot less machinery effectively used to do some of the work where it's sensitive to do so. And then we'll possibly be able to use the machinery in less sensitive areas, but that's to be worked through. Okay?
Thank you.
Is that a reason?
Just a quick one, Hannah Street, General Manager, anything further there, the drainage?
Through the mayor, there was a reasonable meeting with a reasonable person, tries to make life easy. So it's ideally don't like drainage there's a curved channel the length of the street on the southern side. But the more pressing issue is sort of the final section for the last driveway down to Carlton Beach Road. So we had a design and cost done, which hasn't made the budget cut, but the manner in which the drain or lack of drain is affecting the road, it'll have to be a consideration for next financial year. It's not a huge, it's $40,000 to $50,000 range. So that was this particular item was very reasonable about focusing on the key issue, which is that from his point of view that end piece rather than the entirety of the road, but which we wouldn't be putting as a priority project from our point of view. That's processed to run next year for the remaining of the road.
Okay with it.
I think it's entirely sensible. It's a good breath of fresh air.
Probably the one who wrote or emailed or sometime. Doesn't matter.
I think it's not, that's the top of it. Can't exactly what it's like.
Where's the?
Yes.
Where's the?
So that was what, wasn't it?
Yes.
Can I ask about the tree policy meeting with the strategy and risk development? So, is that regarding roadside trees or trees in general on council property, or? That is page, bear with me, sorry, page 10.
After I'm not across that, I'd have to take some advice from Olaf as to what that was in relation to. I suspect it'd be our own tree management.
Yeah, it'd be tree management within the council reserves.
Okay.
Yep, that would be the topic of discussion. How it would probably be the liaison between the land improvement team and engineering and planning about the way that's, who's got responsibility for what and the inform and the communications that run around that project.
Thank you.
Question to the General Manager. I noticed some sort of notes in here about our friends at Lewisham and the Ross the Ridge, the septic issue, being installed again with a plumber who never seems to get there or keeps redesigning. When does the point get that we say this has been going on for 10 years and I'm aware of, and it's probably a lot longer, and so this is just getting to a ridiculous point. It's been the same owner all the way through, and it just seems ridiculous that we bashing our head against the wall and getting that fixed.
Yeah, I'd have to take some advice from Greg as to the next step. I mean, the last email exchange between us was only a few weeks before he went on leave, and
I can tell you through there that he has asked for the legal process from our solicitors about what's required, and they have told him what data he needs to collect to support effectively an environmental protection notice. And I know they have started collecting that data.
Greg has.
Yes.
Started collecting that data.
Yeah. And it's a question of how much data do we need to show the environmental harm to generate the EPN effectively is what the lawyers have asked us, and we have commenced, I think it's monthly sampling in the bay and out of the existing system at the moment to verify that.
I appreciate that it's not a good time for our subject for our officers, but to see a very similar report every month is I think becoming frustrating to the public as well as councillors on.
Yeah, when on my board 9 years ago, and still on there.
And coming up Christmas,
Yeah.
there'll be a
There's
little
more pressure on
patronage,
it.
patronage in the place.
If there's nothing else, oh, sorry, councillor Reid.
One more, the Brighton Cambridge Freight Corridor, just an update on that, please.
Through it's the project State Growth Commission engage, well, they're going up to tender for consultant to run it. So it'll be a 12-month process, they expect in its entirety. So it's basically a route and options assessment of 3 different corridors from Brighton to Cambridge. I had a meeting with DSG, Brighton, Clarence just last week, or this week, last week, about finalising the document that's going out. So it'll be an interesting process to see what is recommended, and the enormity of then creating it, presuming they come up with a preferred option, how you actually then achieve that, and what costs and necessary acquisition and other matters. It's not going to be a quick fix. The principally Tea Tree Road, middle Tea Tree or back Tea Tree, onto the existing Cambridge Road.
5 years ago, there was absolutely no interest in it. Now there is moderate interest, but there is also interest locally as well, because of the freight.
And depending on capacity of the airport.
Well, that's going to continue to grow, as will Cambridge, so as is this region. So it ticks a lot of boxes when you think about it on a piece of paper, but the practical work that's got to be done now may come up with more questions. But there's a lot of common sense around the project.
And yeah, the other thing to bear in mind is what the feds are proposing to change the funding by model from 80-20 to 50-50, which will make it much more difficult for the state. Much more difficult for the state.
And certainly should have been just to conclude the likes of Brighton, more so than Clarence. There's some road performance issues that they're dealing with, just in terms of the condition of back territory principally. Now it's sensibly wanting to hold off as long as they can, investing a lot of money to rectify it until this thing's squared away. So they've got a pretty strong interest in just from a practical point of view.
And several points there, like a lot of the heavy transport sneaks through that way and sneaks back that way in a couple of different routes, the same as it does with the mud walls, which has those roads aren't really designed to take that sort of weight and transport. No different to what it can take off the Brook or the Tasman Bridge and to the traffic out of the funnel effect into Hobart. So there's a lot of things. I don't know whether that report will look at all that, but Brighton, Sorell and Clarence councils are doing a fair bit to promote that.
Thank you.
One more.
Yes, I do. The Community Cultural Precinct Reference Committee, it was terrific to see that the committees met recently. What were the outcomes? And also note on another page, it's referred to as Arts and Culture Committee, but it's Cultural Precinct, isn't it? It is. How did it go?
It went well. It was good. It was a good opportunity to update everybody on where things are at and have a think about master planning the area whilst we're waiting for funding opportunities and what can be done in the short term. So the committees have got in way to consider what we might be able to do in the short term. But yeah, basically it's been an update.
And is there a commitment to meet more regularly now that they've got together?
Correct.
Good. Terrific. Good to hear.
Nothing else. I'll put the motion for those reports to be accepted. All those in favour? Thank you. There are no petitions before us at the moment. Except for we'll do one which relates to the table while we do the report. Land use planning, the Mayor advised in accordance with the provision of Part 2, Regulation 25 of the Local Government Meeting Procedures, Regulations 2015, the intention of the Council to act as a planning authority pursuant to the Land Use Planning Approvals Act of 1993 is to be noted. In accordance with Regulation 25, the Council will act as a planning authority in respect to those matters appearing under item 12 on this agenda, inclusive of any supplementary items. 12.1 is the minutes from the 24th of October, 7th and 14th of November, as circulated. Have a move. Councillor Tronius, thank you. And Councillor Gatos. Any discussion on those minutes? Councillor Reid.
No, the minutes, I think it's the 14th of November minutes. There's one of the motions lists me as voting, but I wasn't there. So just minutes. I think it was the last one.
Get that correct, thank you. In spirit, yes. Thank you with that correction. I shall put the motion to acceptance. All those in favour? Thank you. 14.1 is proposed car park off Shark Point Road. Move the please. Councillor Reid and Councillor Trenius, thank you. And by discussion. I'm surprised former Councillor Evans isn't here to support this motion.
I can see him, I
I have his email today, that one.
You'd be pleased to see it, would you?
I think so. He goes out there daily. I think he does want that area out there, so quite pleased about it. It seems extremely sensible to take advantage of what's been put there and to formalise it and move a little bit further off the road for safety factors and things like that.
Yeah.
Better for the dogs, better for the owners.
Yeah. And to be fair, to have order of three, they've been pretty reasonable to deal with about the lease.
You like to say that again, please?
Yeah. In terms of that particular proposal, they've been pretty reasonable. I mean, all they want to manage is the dust that's coming off, and that's why I had to get it to council, so we can, the deal is that we have to cap it pretty soon with it, that's what we want to do.
I think the work that you've done, Leon, in linking up the walking trails around that place too is an opportunity for another central location for people to park and take advantage of those walking trails as well.
So we are scheduled as part of the capital work to build track parallel to Shark Point down that way this year as well, that's funded. So that sort of completes that triangle, if you like, around the Penna Beach, which the car park will also support.
Very sensible. Very pleased to see Jim's Bridge getting a bit more use.
Right. Just looking at that photograph, it looks like there's a large area of what was sort of, I suppose you call a rough grass area previously has been disturbed.
Yeah.
Is that going to have any lasting impact, or it's just a matter of?
Well, they top, I mean, I don't know if you've been out there recently,
No.
but they topsoil basically everything back to here. And slowing all this down as well. So they've done all the repair and rehabilitation minus the bit that we're asking for. So if you have a look out there, it's actually, all that was left was a few bits and pieces that the contractor had taken away when I met with them last week. So that rehabilitation's already taken place.
Excellent.
That's great.
Sensible solution. There's no other comments on that. I'd like to put that motion for acceptance. All those in favour? Passed unanimously. Thank you. 15.1 is community grants program. Recommendation is before us. Can I have a move, please? Councillor Gatehouse and a seconder. Councillor Mirakasala, thank you very much. And invite any comments or discussion from the floor. No, thank you. So with that, I shall put for acceptance as per the recommendation. All those in favour? Passed unanimously. Thank you very much. 16.2 is the customer service charter. Councillor Reynolds, thank you. Seconder, Councillor Gatehouse. And invite discussion. Circulated and a few comments received back. Jess?
We said that.
Yep. Yes, thank you.
Just a question, unfortunately, I was away and not able to comment last week, but I'm looking at it for tonight's meeting, the acknowledgement of correspondence within 10 working days. Why is it so long? It seems a long period of time. It seems to be a long period of time, and that is exactly the same as the periods that apply to correspondence. Or is that the intent? Yes, the fourth point, acknowledge your correspondence if the detail applied is required.
Yes, we'll reply to your correspondence within 10 days, and if we're not able to answer the query, will still respond in 10 days to say that we've received.
It'll take some more work.
It'll take some more time.
So it could be up to 3 days,
Yes.
it's simple, or.
Yeah, and generally we aim to do it, particularly with email, we aim to respond much more. Because of that, given resourcing and workloads and staff absences and things like that, have a realistic maximum period of time that it will take to receive the response in writing. It's quite consistent with other councils.
Thank you. There's one, we still referring on the next page, still referring to gas instead of spa.
That correction, just one more comments, I'll put the motion for acceptance, all those in favour? Moving on to 15.2, the customer service charter. Sorry, no, covered up, yeah, we've got the community grant, sorry about it, I think it was the second one there. One is the executive summary financial report October 2023. Move it, please. Councillor Reynolds and Councillor Reid. Good to note earlier on the finances that our collection is still extremely solid, and express disappointment that every time I look and see that we're above on budget. When you read the report with that much detail in it, it takes it all away from you because of timing of invoices and various other things that throw us out of whack a little bit, grant timing and that, so very comprehensive report still. Any other comments from the floor at all?
Right, on page, just a point of clarification, page 71 at the bottom, talking about other income. There's mention of hall hire being below budget, but then other facilities being above, due to greater than expected activity at the South Sports Complex. Do we know if that's a shift from users who were using local halls now coming to the complex, or are there other factors there?
I only know of one group that's moved, which is the men's breakfast, and that's only been for the last 2 months for reasons at the hall. But no, I don't know of any others. It's just been a lot of interest in the stadium complex for use. A lot of different groups.
Curious as to whether that's the reason for that change or there's other things.
70. Yeah, the volume. Yeah, sorry. Okay. Yeah. That's- that's it. Another question for me. On page 76, the cash reserves, 75 and 76, the cash reserves, so just clarify that 2.4 million from land sales and public open space, that's included in the 21 million cash balance?
Through it would be.
That's everything. Yep.
Other comments? I shall put the motion for acceptance. All those in favour? Unanimously. 16.2 is 23-24 capital budget adjustments. Someone move this one, please. Mr. Trinius, thanks very much. Councillor Gadio, second. Do you want to do a summary here or?
For the mayor, it's comparatively benign.
Is there a benign?
Recall myself, what was it? There's There's 2 approved capital jobs that have variances greater than 10%, being the May Street Park fencing replacement and the design for the Peona Street car park. That's the bottom page 92. And we have 2 that have been completed that was slightly over on Canal Street, which was the car park grade upgrade. The Pembroke Park one asked the capitalisation costs for that, which we do as a we do with each capital budget. And the following one, the Sorell hub footpath replacement, I hope that a department we're going to forget to invoice, but they remembered, unfortunately. I kept very quiet about that. I probably should have said it on the record. That's, yeah, they've got a very sharp break manager, Lisa Kavanagh, who's great to deal with, and I thought I've got on mine. She was a step ahead of me, so that was one which we presume was going to happen the prior year, but
Take it out of file, let it in.
we could do that. Yeah, it's very, very vanilla this month, which is we like.
No comment from councillors regarding that, pretty straightforward. Thank you. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Passed unanimously. Thank you. And we move on to questions.
Only a short one. You asked, don't look so surprised. You asked their services some questions last month. Could you tell me what the answers were to those questions? Did you receive anything?
Nothing major at this stage. I didn't attend the last meeting, but I was talking to Matt and I haven't got any full answers back on anything yet. But they usually take a few weeks and usually give us a fair bit of information, too much information sometimes, but haven't got anything at this stage.
Lucky, most people don't get any information, so you're doing well. Just ask on behalf of the residents of Dodgers Ferry, Fawcett, Carlton, all the areas there that, if we've got a transfer of the flight path to a different area, there are plenty of vacant pieces of land that are safety-wise are good, and it doesn't affect anybody else. So to have it moved from where it is now somewhere else would be a great benefit to everyone. And I hope the council will keep pushing for that. Thank you.
Right. Last time I came to the meeting, as I drove out of Dodges Ferry, I was impressed by the beautiful undulating pattern of yellow flowers. Not unlike the flowers that Robert won in the art competition, right, but they were smaller. Now, what worries me is that nobody thinks that they're beautiful. I do, and I'm a bit concerned that one of our esteemed councillors had her agapanthus and red hot pokers. Their heads were chopped off just before Christmas when she planned to deck the halls, not with ivy and other stuff, but with her red hot pokers. Is that right? Yes. Now, the other problem it's actually not a problem anymore, I must confess. I spoke to Darren before the last council meeting, and he came through yesterday. David and Dave came, that's what they told me they were. They were probably travelling incognito, I don't know. But they sort of gave me a fire break between my fence and still the bone seed on the other side. My only fear now is some job's going to chuck a bottle and break some glass, and that will cause a fire. But I can't wax lyrical about the bone seed, but I am very grateful that they did something. Did give them a little can of Cordial, nothing harder. The other thing I need to ask is, or to tell you, Neighbourhood Watch will do their annual Christmas in July on the 27th, which is a Saturday, again at the Dodges Ferry Hotel. If the councils would all like to come and mark it in their diary so you won't forget. I believe we've planned it so it won't include the school holidays. So we expect
27th of July, you said?
27th of July, yes. So we think we've got it outside the school holidays. I think that's all I need to say.
And Dad and Dave is a legitimate business. They do a lot of contract work and do a very good job. Obviously, they were doing the bypass job.
Who were the ones that cut the flowers heads off?
I'd like to say, and a vicious rumour says nobody's willing to admit that.
Right. I mean, if I was a little flower, I think they were murdered.
You are a little petal at times.
That's all. Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure. Thank you. Thanks for bringing the artwork in.
That's all right.
Right.
Yeah, I got a list. Do you want the good ones first, or the?
Doesn't matter, you know that, that's how they come.
I think you should congratulate the council employee who planned the causeway out of Daisies.
Is it you, was it?
No, it wasn't me. I tried to get it done years ago, but everybody laughed at me. It's actually quite brilliant.
And then they're all flowered.
It's about half to 2/3 of it is, yeah.
No,
in
the pink
flower.
ones.
Pardon?
There's some pink little ones growing along the side of it.
Yeah, nice.
There's still rubbish on the causeway
Yeah,
too.
nice.
They've had 2 pickups, but they had some windy, horrible days that drained a bit more. So, yeah, we keep at them, but it's a tough road. But there has been a Stornoways crew working a fair bit of that section of highway.
And on all here as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike.
Taking it one step further, when you come off the roundabouts and hit the new, sorry, off the causeway and hit the new roundabouts, yeah, they're not covered in daisies. And to be perfectly honest, that's quite disgraceful. It's the two of the 3 primary entrances to this town. I noticed up my way somebody has made one of the paddock verges,
Yes.
but it stopped. There's no mowers there today.
Last night that was done.
Last night, was
5 o'clock last night.
any chance of before Christmas getting the whatever it is, wild turnip or something it is? I don't know what the botanical name is.
Capeweed, I think.
Yellow.
Yeah.
That's not capeweed. It's a woody bush thing, grows about yay high with, which looks like a bit like canola.
And the roundabout is growing some magnificent thistles there too. Scotch thistles.
Yeah, like I said, it's the main entrance to the town.
Yep.
And,
We have taken it up with, over the last, probably 6 months. I'm not sure exactly where the maintenance period is, but it's, one versus the other. But Independent John Tucker and, remember Professor Jane Howard have both taken up in the last couple of weeks, in meetings with senior politicians, and I got excited last night when I saw that little bit being done. Dad and Dave have also talked to somebody in the government about being given the contract to do it, and I'm waiting with anticipation that something happens over the next fortnight. been told it will be done and needed done. They admitted that they had a problem with the topsoil they put down as the contractor, and that they are looking at a contract to spray the weed out and re-sow it when the timing is right in March. But they know we want it fixed well and truly before Christmas.
Yeah, I'm doing a bit more. I'm trying to. Rob's committed to doing a roundabout in Gordon Street and the one up here in terms of a bit of a layout. And if we're hoping if we do that, then State Roads will follow us with those other two, Mike, is basically what I've been talking to them about.
I won't hold for it.
No.
A landscaping plan is part of the DA for the bypass.
Yeah, but the bypass is well used, you know, it's like a fortnight old. The other thing is over by, probably good, what's it called? Kidbook.
Yeah.
Adjacent on the highway there, they've dipped the bitumen. I hope that's not all they're going to do, because that vertical drop is quite dangerous to a heavily sprung vehicle. That'll shift a load.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. And, you know, or one thing to dip it, it's another thing to fix it.
Yep.
So it's obviously bad compaction or subsidence or something.
Yeah, the base is inadequate. So I've been on the State Roads. That is a defect under their.
It's a big defect.
Yeah, and they've done a little bit, but they haven't done really enough to fix it. I agree with you, and I also reported that. The mayor rang me up early this week.
Yep. So they've done that a little bit.
So I have reported that as well, Mike.
Yeah, it's actually probably twice as bad as it was originally.
Because now
it's going down.
Yeah.
And like I said, with a heavy sprung vehicle, that'll just launch the load.
Yeah,
it does with my old ute, that's not that sprung.
Yeah, no, the trucks are certainly noticing it.
Yeah, they've had a failure there somewhere. I think that little bit was just to suss out what was going wrong underneath, whether it was changing gravel or.
But I'm only interested in a date when they're coming back to fix the rest of it, so that's what I'm trying to get out of them.
Yeah, that one's dangerous, that's what I'm saying. The daisies on the roundabout, they're not dangerous, they're just awful.
Yeah.
But that could lead to catastrophe there if someone loses their load on the wrong side of the road. In the opposing side.
Or is overtaken in that spot. They're not meant to, but
It
is a bigger dip on one side than the other, and
yeah, exactly.
it is a fair jolt in a truck or a older ute.
It's getting to be a fair jolt in sedan.
What's your regular conversation on that one as well? Nothing else, we need to move into close, so thank you for your attendance, and just remember, next meeting on the 12th is our AGM. It'll be our last one before Christmas, so you need to come along in something of Christmas cheer. I understand Santa will be making an appearance, and I'm trying to get the GM done up in the little elf suit. Just a deal.
That I've got to see.
The AGM is at 5:30, that's for the non.
It's 5:30 confirmed time, yes, got the nod, yes, the elf just nodded, yes.
So we come at 5:30 or you go at 5:30, we come at 6.
Well, it's AGM.
AGM.
Followed by another meeting.